this video, I will be talking about the physical abuse of young children, so again, viewer discretion is advised. This is out of Covington, Georgia. The wicked stepmother's name is Nora Rodgers, 27 years old. It was somewhat limited information that I could find. I don't know if they're calling her a stepmother. I don't know if she's legally married to the man that they never mention in question. But anyway, I will continue with the story. So you guys know how I like to visit their social media pages and see what else is going on. Most definitely another Facebook is a fraud. She is definitely in the presence of a guy. It says on her page that she is engaged. So she has a few pictures of young children. I cannot tell if these are her stepchildren or her biological children at all. I don't even know if her stepchildren is even on this page. However, a concerned family member would contact the proper authorities, believing that some type of abuse was happening to the children. The stepchildren are in the house along with her biological children. So she is caring for all 6 of them at some point in time. Again, I don't know if this is every day she did this temporarily. I'm not sure. But on October 4th, 2020, officers responded to find out about this claim at Rodgers' residence. The stepchildren were ages 6, 8, and 9 at the time. They had visible marks from beatings and bruisings and swelling on their body. The 9-year-old boy, he had a black eye and severe bruising on his legs. There was an 8-year-old girl. She had bruises covering her body and scrapes and marks from the physical punishment. There was a 6-year-old girl. She had a broken elbow and scratches and bruises that covered her body. She was suffering severe internal injuries that could have led to her death. That she was required treatment at the Children's Healthcare Atlanta Trauma Team. The 3 stepchildren were underweight and malnourished. She would take solid foods, dilute them with water, put them in a blender, and give it to these young children. That was their dinner. If they even got that. Sometimes she wouldn't give them food at all. All of the children, the biological ones and the stepchildren, were taken at that moment, and they were put in foster care. On October 9th, Rodgers pled guilty to 9 counts of cruelty to children. The charges were physical, mental, and emotional abuse, all on her stepchildren. Her biological children, they were not treated like this. Rodgers, she would force extreme boot camp-like exercises, running with logs, jumping jacks, squats in the middle of the night, in the heat, the Georgia heat in the summer. I know what the Georgia heat is in the summer. It get up to 112, 115 degrees out there. It's really hot. And this is what she would do to her stepchildren. And if they did not meet her expectations, or they were out there in this sun running with logs after they just drank a watered-down dinner, or they're about to have a watered-down dinner, she would beat them again. Physical sparring is what they called it. Rodgers had been warned previously from the Department of Family and Children's Services not to use corporal punishment on these children. But she didn't listen. She continued to do it anyway to her stepchildren. Where was the father in all this? Oh, I looked. I have no idea where this father was. Now, on her page, not only did a dog go missing, a little puppy went missing and then returned, she was looking for a man. She was actually looking for a man. I'm not going to even get into it, but she's looking for this man. I don't know if he's a stepfather. I have no idea. But she was looking for a man that I guess returned back. Very weird. He just dipped off on her and then came back. I don't understand it. But in the articles I've read, they didn't mention a stepfather. Not at all. Not at all. So a lot of people feel that, why wasn't he taking any blame? Unless he was like a truck driver, this is what I'm saying, where he's gone most of the time, but even when you come home, you don't know that your children are losing weight. They're already small to begin with. And their weight is declining, and you can't tell. It's very strange, very strange. Your children hasn't told you. You don't see bruises on them. I don't know. They don't really mention much about the stepfather, unfortunately. They don't. On December 12th, Nora Rodgers received 60 years probation, but she will have to serve 30 years in prison first, and then when she's released, she will do another 30 years probation. So she's knocking 60. She's knocking 60. They feel that the stepchildren will be old enough, I guess, to defend themselves when she's released. They'll be like in their 30s, right? Something like that. Children too. She may be a grandmother by this point. She won't be able to have children anymore, but she may be a grandmother. So, 3 decades she will have to spend in prison for doing something she really should have never done. If she didn't really want these kids in her life, she shouldn't have got with their daddy, because that was a package deal, it looked like, and she just shouldn't have did it. Horrible. These children really went through something emotional and mental, and that lasts more than the bruising. The bruises are going to heal. The broken bones, they're going to heal. But the emotional abuse and the mental abuse, that's going to stay with them for a very, very long time. For a very long time. Nora Rodgers, she shares a meme on November 6, 2022. It says, quote, "I don't want my children to follow in my footsteps. I want them to take the path next to me and go further than I could have ever dreamt possible." End quote. Well, Nora Rodgers, if your children get older and they meet a person that has children and they combine their families, if your children do not beat them and starve them and mentally and emotionally abuse them, they have already went farther than you have went.